So digital interface, and anyone who doesn't understand the term digital interface, please, I can get into this as well. Anyone who wants to know a little more about it? No. Okay. So any screen on which we learn, which we interact with to get information, knowledge, is a digital interface that we've been using for e-learning, right? The next one. Tons and tons of digital interfaces for e-learning we've interacted with. PPTs, a very important and a simple one we forgot, right? YouTube or any video player, but YouTube specifically is a fantastic digital interface for e-learning. We have obviously the LMSs, number of different LMSs with so many different features all competing against one another, and we have a wide range to choose from whenever we have to deploy our learning. The learner company has our own LMS as well, right? So no shortage of LMSs out there. Then obviously the HTML5 or SCORM experiences, click-based experiences, allow the learner to do slightly more than the other ones that are out there. And finally, games, right? I'm also surprised that no one mentioned games, because games are a fantastic digital interface for e-learning. They grab our attention, they engage us through and through, right? There have been number of experiments and studies done on this. I'm sure you must have seen a learner playing a game and not fidgeting at all for 3 straight hours, while fidgeting so much while looking at a math video for just 10 minutes, right? So games are fantastic for e-learning as well. To the next slide. So now, if these are all the digital interfaces that exist for e-learning, I want to map them, right? In terms of flexibility and more importantly, malleability, right? How much does this interface allow the user or the learner to do, right? PPT is probably the least flexible, does not allow the user to do anything, right? The user can simply take the information in that is on the screen. Next. And obviously, there is a scope of making either your PPT not engaging at all or highly engaging. But even the most engaging PPT that you can create will exist within this spectrum right here. It won't go beyond that. The most engaging PPT may not be as engaging as, let's say, a normally done YouTube video, right? So then we have the YouTube video, or the YouTube interface allows the user to do slightly more, maybe like, comment, play, skip, go back, go front. So slightly more flexibility in terms of what the learner, and again, let me repeat this. What I'm talking about is not flexibility at our end, not at the L&D's end to create the learning content, but flexibility at the learner's end to do something, right? So there is YouTube. The next one, obviously LMS, allows the learner to do slightly even more. Answer questions, get feedback from quizzes, download any PDFs or any supporting resources that you guys have given. Now LMSs are getting AI enabled as well, so the whole host of new features coming in. The next, SCORM, right? A click-based interactive HTML5 or SCORM experience can be highly engaging. We at the Learner Company have spent hours and hours creating simulations on HTML5 which we are using to train government officials. So we have spent so much time bringing out as much engagement as possible from SCORM. But again, we are restricted. We are restricted to buttons, we are restricted to the text on the screen and to the user journey that the L&D or we have in mind for the learner. And then there are educational games like Prodigy. Allow the learner to do so much more, right? There is, with every challenge, right, with every hurdle thrown at the learner is learning something or reinforcing the learning that is already happened. Practicing, improving, and we all know that while there is the joy of learning, practice and determination are very important in the road to expertise, right? You may love something all you want, any topic, any subject, but in order to become expert, a lot of hard work, repetition goes into that. So games like Prodigy enable that. But then, what is there a even more flexible or malleable experience than educational games like Prodigy? Can anyone think of something? AI enables this. AI isn't the experience, AI will help you create that experience.
Yeah, so maybe I came across something where it's just like the student per se, because it's an education thing which you're talking as a persona. So it's more like you interact with maybe the device, whichever it is, the board of the device.
Right.
And you can already, it gives you responses. Yeah, the AI
Right.
gives all
Right.
responses, but
Right.
of course it is restricted to the content which it knows.
Right.
Or it's read.
Right.
So that is something which I see. It is just like how I'm definitely Tata Promon. How many people know? You don't know, right? So what do? You go to Google and research. So similar way, I got a question. It is just like, okay, hey, can you just please help me with this? And it's going ahead and responding. So that is maybe next level, which is very flexible, because I think tutors will go out of business.
Yeah. Right. But think about this, Sandeep, that even here we are talking about one-way passage of information and getting it back.
Yes.
Right. And one idea, right? This me talking to you right here is an interface. This is the human interface, our physical world. How much can we explore in this physical world? Everything and anything. You can go to another country, you can climb that mountain, you can swim that ocean, whatever you want to do, right? Interfaces take over when they allow you to do a lot more within them. Physical interfaces, never ending, right? We live in a physical universe, so I don't know where there is the end to the physical interface, but we don't know about it. But in the digital interface, our experiences are very walled in, right? It exists in a certain black box. But there are experiences which go beyond that. So go to the next one. Mobile games and AAA games. And when I say AAA games, I mean the games that people play on their console. People play on their PC, which require a certain graphic processing power, a certain RAM, right, in order to power these experiences. Go to the next one. When I was young, I have been very, very privileged and thankful to my parents that they were very open to gaming. I have been exposed to games, playing them on consoles since I was a very, very young kid. And these games taught me so much. I learned so much about Greek mythology. All of us know about Zeus and Poseidon. So much of it is there in pop culture, right? But the most I learned about Greek mythology was playing God of War. Highly violent game, not recommended for kids at all, right? But a fantastic learning experience nonetheless. There's a game called Diner Dash. This I feel more of you would know about. This we could have played on the PC or even on the mobile, where you have to manage a restaurant. Orders are coming in, you have a certain number of staff and you have to dedicate the staff in a way that you can fulfill all the orders without losing out on customers. Taught me about strategy, time management. In fact, this is a more accurate representation or simulation of how a restaurant works than probably what they have in hospitality courses, right? Then there is Assassin's Creed. So every Assassin's Creed, and obviously the name is, there is assassin right in the name, highly violent game, but each of the Assassin's Creed game is set in a different period of time, in a different civilization. The depths at which the Assassin's Creed team goes to make sure that everything that you see on your screen is true, real, or to their best recollection or to the best recollection of humanity, right, is incredible. They spend more than 100, 200 millions on these games and they get it right. I have played more than 4 of these games. I think there are about 9 of them, and each one is a deep dive in a specific civilization. But we don't use Assassin's Creed to teach history. We don't, because we think of it as gaming. We think of it as entertainment. Go to the next. There is a game called No Man's Sky. They have mapped out a certain part of the universe. You can get in your spaceship, fly to planets, right? Who is to say that this does not make for a wonderful experience for a budding astrophysicist, right? Or for anyone interested in space and stars and constellations. But we don't think like that. The biggest reason we don't think like that is we are unable to execute it ourselves, right? Go to the next. There is a gap. We come till here. Generally, learning developers come till here, they stop here, and we dream about educational games like Prodigy. We dream about how this is possible, because we can only go till here, our imagination stops here. We can't think beyond HTML5 and SCORM experiences. The gap is there, and the gap is very, very clear. See, it is a skill, resource, money gap, right? In order to create a game like God of War or Assassin's Creed, right? It is a team of more than 100 extremely talented coders, designers, developers coming together in a more than $100 million, right? Intent coming together to put this game out, right? And we don't have access to those kind of resources, or we don't have access to those kind of skills as well. We have spent time working on how to teach people, working on how to improve the instruction that we want to give off. We don't know how to design games. But this gap, right, from here to games like educational games like Prodigy and beyond, this gap is very, very quickly shrinking. Okay? We are now able to do a lot more with the digital interface than we were able to do just 3 years ago because of AI. AI has given us, learning developers especially, greater control over the interfaces that we can create. We are not just limited to LMSs, to creation of video. We are not limited to just COM and HTML5. There is a lot more that we can do now, right? I understand some hesitation from all of you to hear me standing here talking about AI as if we are experts. We are not, right? But this I can put my stake to, that AI is a very nascent technology. It is 15 December 2022 when the first ChatGPT got released, right? And we, the learner company, has been on this technology since day one. We have utilized this technology and what it offers to the fullest and the max. In 2022, we used AI just for curriculum design and scripting. We used to bounce off ideas on how we can improve this curriculum design, how this script can be better, right? This is when we were only talking about text-to-text models. Then in 2023, we started using AI for storyboarding and engaging videos because we finally got the text-to-image, text-to-video capability. In 2024, we have started using AI to create games and simulations, right? In the last 3 years, we have increased, and I know video production capacity is not a metric to judge learning by any means, no. But it measures our productivity, right? And our productivity has gone from 60 minutes per month to 300 minutes per month. Same number of people, simply because we've learned how to use AI well. Next. And now in 2025, we are using AI to reimagine learning interfaces because of vibe coding tools. How many of you know what vibe coding tools are? Vibe coding, anyone?
Briefly.
Very briefly, okay. Guys, seriously, no one knows here about vibe coding tools? Alright.
Canva itself offers vibe.
Yeah, Canva has a vibe coding tool inbuilt now. Canva code, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So, vibe coding tools, as simply put, in all the other AI models, you put a text, you get a text response, or you get a image response, or you get a video response, right? You ask the AI that I want to see this video, or I want to see this image. Vibe coding tool allows you to code using AI. Rather than telling the AI, I want to see this text, or this image, or this video, I want to see this app. This app should be able to do A, B, C, D things, right? And it will code the entire app for you. No coder required. This is an incredible expansion to the capabilities that AI has and the capabilities now that we have in order to design e-learning experiences. Go to the next one. Right? There are tons of vibe coding tools out there. There is V0 by Versal, there is Replit, there is Cursor, there is Claude Code, there is Lovable, there is Bolt, and all of these obviously have their pros and cons, right? But I implore you guys, spend time vibe coding. Go to the next one, right? People have built incredible things using vibe coding tools, an entire game where you have to pick up people on your taxi and drop them off at a certain point, completely created by someone who did not know how to code and just vibe coded the entire thing. Creating basic converters, apps for your personal use or for the use of your learners can be done in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Simulators, people have built flight simulators, right, on vibe coding tools. So the capabilities are incredible, and that gap that I was originally talking about, that will just keep shrinking, because we know that AI capabilities will keep getting better and better, right? Next one. AI is now giving us tools to go beyond traditional e-learning interfaces. We don't need to think in terms of LMS. We don't need to think in terms of SCORM or a YouTube video. We can now go beyond. And to that point, I want to go back to that prompt that I had initially put in. There you go. So at the start of this talk, I put in a prompt that obviously I had worked upon the prompt previously, and prompt engineering is something that all of us will have to work on as a skill. But once you get that prompt right, I asked AI to create a trust or betray game, a game that helps me learn more about the prisoner's dilemma as part of the game theory in statistics. Alright, prisoner's dilemma is very simple. There are two prisoners, right? Depending on how they choose, they can either benefit both of them, hurt both of them, or one person takes the advantage. And I have not done anything except write this prompt right here, and now you will see the game. Okay. So business partnership, you and competitor can share valuable market research. Share research or keep secret. I'll keep secret. Alright. I kept secret, the partner shared results. So you chose to keep secrets while your partner chose to share results, you gained an advantage. My score is 5. Like this, I can keep playing against. This time I shared the research and the AI did not, right? So I can keep playing this game, learn more about the prisoner's dilemma in game theory. Continue to the next scenario. Skip filter. Install filter. Skip filter. Right now I'm just selecting basic options, right? If you actually spend time on this game, this will become a learning experience for you if you want to learn this specific thing, right? Continue to the next scenario. I'll just quickly go through this so that we can also see the end. And guys, the color, the font, the language, the text, none of it has been put in by me. It is all AI.
Is that customizable?
Yes, all of this is customizable. So once this initial thing, see, this is a one, generally whenever we are workshopping with AI, it is back and forth. You tell the AI something, AI gives you a response, and then you tell it, adjust this, change that, revamp this, right? So same back and forth needs to happen even with the vibe coding tool, where let's say if you want them to wanted to change the color, it'll change the color. It'll change the font, it will change the scenarios. Whatever you want to happen can happen now. And now this, right, this game that I created in, I just pasted the prompt right in front of you guys and it took 5 minutes to do it by itself. This game is now an interface that I can give my learners. And let's say if I'm a professor of statistics and I'm trying to teach my class about the prisoner's dilemma, this is how I would want them to learn. Because this is interactive, this is giving them feedback in real time, right? Stuff like this may even be difficult to create. If you want to create this same experience using SCORM, it'll take you at least 5 to 10 hours to code the whole thing together. This took 5 minutes.
So now what will be the output, like where can you host this? Like this is an app
Yeah.
basically now.
Yeah. So exactly, different tools allow you to do different things. With V0, I can hit on publish and I can create a link, host it on my Vercel and just share the link to all of you. And all of you can start using it.
To anyone.
No, you just have to pay the whatever V0, I think is $20 a month,
Okay.
right? So you just have to pay that. And that also, I think it is free if you don't want to use a custom domain. If you're using a Vercel, using a Vercel domain, it's free. Yeah.
So I'm currently using Gemini for the same,
Sure.
where I'm generating all these games. But
Yeah.
how about the database? If I want to collect for each of the learners, that is one of the challenge that is there with all CI.
Right. So now V0 is offering native integration to Supabase, which is a database. So after you do that integration, and that is also simply chat, you just have to ask it, can you collect the information collected as part of this app in a Supabase instance. It's called an instance, yeah. In a Supabase instance, and it'll do it by itself.
And you can download it as an Excel.
And then you can download it from Supabase as an Excel.
You need to pay for that, right?
Supabase also, I think up until the first 1,000 entries is free.
It is free.
It is free. Yeah. And see, guys, as soon as you start using all this now, the pricing strategy that these guys use is to get you hooked on usage and then charge. Right? So the first 1,000 users or the first 5 apps and all of this will be free. Generally, it is free.
Definitely not the first, yeah. How Geo hooked us.
Yeah. Very much like how Geo hooked us. Right? So yeah. Now going back to, yes, please. I have, so privacy and IP is something that I've covered in the presentation itself, yes, because that is the biggest concern, right? So just going back to my presentation now, having made this, right? So now we can go beyond traditional e-learning interfaces. Go to the next one. But how do we do? Right? I created like a prompt and I put it up. But how do you utilize it in your specific scenarios, in your own creation of learning content? So go to the next. Right, so yet another LXD and e-learning framework. And I'm very happy that Mamta ji actually took us through the traditional L&D framework, because those frameworks are incredibly important. Anything we do with AI, right, cannot be in isolation. It has to work with tried, tested L&D techniques, models and frameworks, right? So the splash model that Mamta ji just talked about is very important. This model does not replace that. It just builds on top of it. AI-enabled learning framework to create engaging digital learning experiences, right? I'll very quickly go through this because the framework is less important than what I'm about to talk about next. Good. Right, so number one, it doesn't replace traditional L&D models. I'm happy that Mamta ji gave her talk first, and that core L&D expertise that we still need to study upon, become better at and get right in our learning experiences is incredibly important. That will never go away. It is right, so important to cover all the bases in terms of curriculum design, course planning and everything. And generally this framework, the craft framework, fits between the curriculum design and the asset development phase. Right, the next one. Right, so very quickly. C is for capability assessment. What can AI of my time do or achieve? Right? Today, just like this question that I asked the group, that how many of you know about vibe coding tools, right? So very few of you did. It is incredibly important as learning designers that we are aware what AI is capable of. Today, AI is capable of something, next year it will be capable of something even more. It is our job to keep up, right? I know it becomes tiresome, and you have to, there are these 17 apps and models update every day, and I'm sure if you guys are on Twitter, the Twitter is full of posts like this AI is dead, this new AI has come up with so X many features, right? It's very overwhelming. But keep in touch with the general capabilities. Can AI create text? Yes. Can AI create image? Yes. Video? Yes. Apps? Yes. So just like this, you have to be aware of the capabilities of AI of that time. This will be true today, this will be true even in 2035, because capabilities will keep expanding and it will force us to think how we can think about digital interfaces. Resource selection. What type of assets need creation? Beyond just the video and the assessment and everything. Do I want to create a reflection chatbot? Do I want to create a game? Do I want to create a simulation? Do I want to create a day in the life of experience for my learner, right? You have to decide what type of asset works best for your target audience. The A is incredibly important, although it is the most esoteric part of this. Aesthetics and brand. I am making a very strong case about going beyond traditional interfaces for AI, right? But that also means that we have more number of interfaces to handle now. And the design and the branding, the color scheme, the fonts, It has to be consistent when you are asking your user to shift to jump from interface to interface. अगर आप भी Google पे phone पे जाओगे, you see the same thing. You open Gmail app on your desktop, you see the same thing. You open YouTube on your tablet, you still see the same design principles utilized. It is because of how they have designed it is we are able to draw this is part of the same brand, this is part of the same experience. So it is incredibly important for us to start thinking about aesthetics and brand, right? When we are sending our learners to different digital interfaces. Foster expertise or partnership. So either you foster prompt expertise, that you are able to prompt, work with AI by yourself, that you can get what you want to get, or and become really good at nimble at this, start fostering partnerships. Find someone who can do it for you. Guys, in the next 20 years, coders and L&Ds or animators and L&Ds working together will become the staple. The future is a multidisciplinary future, and either you become a multi-potentialite, multidisciplinary person who has these 4 or 5 skills, or you become part of a multidisciplinary team who can execute this. Right? Look for like-minded people, look for coders, and now because of vibe coding and everything, the costs to hiring a coding partner have gone down. The cost to hiring an animator have gone down. The cost to hiring a product person have gone down. Right? So become flexible, become comfortable in partnering with someone to create the experience you have in mind, because many a times you simply won't have. No matter how much I know about vibe coding, there is a certain character design in a game, I'll have to go to Dinesh, right? And I have to work with Dinesh, who is the head of animation and design at the learner company, right? I can't work without it. So start fostering these partnerships. And finally the T, testing and iteration. All of you understand the importance of this in the grand scale of L&D, as well as in the with keeping in AI in mind as well. Okay, so this is the craft framework. Listen guys, it's very easy for me to stand here and just deliver a framework, ye follow karo hoga. But the framework is just a start, right? अगर आज आपको मालूम ही नहीं है कि मुझे reflection board बनाना है मेरे learners के लिए, right? Then how will you go about creating that experience? If you don't know, how can you imagine, right? The framework is important because learners today expect dazzling learning experiences. See, you know, the thing that really sometimes makes me sit down and think for 20-30 minutes is the learners who are learning on Prodigy today. Prodigy math, how many of you know about it? So basically it's an entire game like Pokemon, where you have to fight with monsters and you have to attack the monster. And when you are trying to attack the monster, it gives you a problem. If you solve the problem correctly, it increases the effectiveness of your attack on the monster, and either you win or the monster wins, whatever, right? Now these kids, in 20 years they are going to be professionals, right? What are their expectations going to be? If kids nowadays are learning using the most fantastic games, there are games for coding, games for math, such wonderful digital experiences they are already used to, that in 20 years time, that is what their expectation will be. Learners expect fantastic experiences when it comes to e-learning now, right? AI capabilities will keep expanding. Today I created a very small app using one prompt with AI. This capability will increase. Tomorrow and the next year and the year after that, AI will be able to do a whole lot more. And unless we keep in par with AI, we won't be able to offer that experience to our learner. And digital interfaces will become even more flexible and malleable as augmented reality becomes mainstream. I am willing to engage and even debate on the efficacy of AR or not, right? You can believe whether AI is the future or not. That is completely fine. But the first part of this sentence you will definitely agree with, that digital interfaces will keep becoming more and more flexible. Imagine, this is for technology at large. Imagine the touch, the normal button phone we used to have back in the day, black and white. Now we have smartphones. The interface is now allowing us to do a lot more with it than it previously did. Go to the next. Right, so as I was saying, it's very easy for me to stand here and be like, hey, this is the craft framework, isko follow karo aur ye ho jayega. The reason the name of this talk is reimagining digital interfaces and not the craft framework is because it is the imagination which is important, right? We have to expand our imagination when it comes to what a digital interface means and what it can do for us and the learner. Go to the next. And you have to dive in, right? There was a time where you could have been separate from the digital and the tech part of it. Those days are gone. So my recommendation is see product launches, see the product launches of Apple and Google and Microsoft, Figma, OpenAI, Canva, right? Just in these product demonstrations, there is so much talk about digital interfaces that is happening. Right now, not sure how many of you use Apple, but Apple is moving towards an entire glass-like UI because they believe that in the future, all digital interfaces will be AR based. They will not be a separate screen but on top of our normal physical world, right? So it is by watching these product launches that you will start thinking and imagining about digital interfaces differently. Download new apps just to try, right? This new game has come up for grades, great for learning, download it. This new tool is out, try it out. This new chat GP or new LLM is out, try it out. What is stopping you? Right? Most of these have free trials, 99% have free trials. Go ahead, try, experiment. The more you try and experiment, the broader your imagination will get and play learning games. Right? The ones, and in fact, I'm so sorry, the best one I haven't mentioned is Brilliant. Any of you know about Brilliant? It's a company out of California, right? They allow interaction on screen, right? So let's say if you're learning about physics, so you can pull a lever and see how bad that lever goes, right? If you're learning about coding and about logic, then you have to rearrange things on the screen, and that teaches you about the coding logic. So there are some fantastic tools out there, try them, play them. Only when you do it, your imagination will be bigger and broader. Next time you are designing an experience for your learners, you'll be like, wo maine try kiya tha, I should try and build that in. Go to the next. And of course, and ma'am, as the point that you very pertinently brought up, right? Which is the P words, the privacy and the property, being intellectual property, IP. Not today and not even in 20 years time will we stop being concerned about privacy and AI. It will forever be a concern. That is true in 10 years, 20 years or 30 years. Okay? We will still be having an AI versus privacy conversation 30 years down the line. And that is incredibly, and we need to keep having that conversation because if we don't think about this, no one else will. But it should not be the bottleneck to how you start using AI. Okay? For this crowd right here, let me say that India mein right now there are no laws pertaining to IP or privacy when it comes to AI. Okay? I have done some basic research and even a very, very broad, very loose framework is being put together by the government, but I don't know when it will see the light of day. Maybe another 3-4 years to pakka. Maybe that'll be faster if tomorrow some huge issue happens. Then maybe the government will speed it up, but otherwise I don't expect any framework to come from the government side in the next 4 years. So with that in mind, with no clear-cut laws in mind, the rule of thumb for us should be use AI for augmentation and not creation. Okay? If you are asking AI to write your script entirely, that is content, that is IP infringement. Someone in the future, maybe 10 years down the line, maybe Times of India will come to you and be like, if ChatGPT copied our or took our content without our consent, and you use that content or the LLM used that content to generate your script, and hence your script is infringing on our IP, right? This will happen if you ask AI to create it native for you. But if you write a script by yourself and you ask AI to improve it, no issue, no problem, nothing to worry about. Okay? At least when it yes.
The example you just showed
Yes.
us.
Yes.
That is going to draw a lot of information from multiple sources to create that output you created.
The coding one, coding works separately. So with coding may
Not only about content.
yes, this is for content. Vibe coding tools work differently simply because they are not drawing from existing libraries. On what has happened is a lot of apps have been, or a lot of features rather, forget apps, a lot of features have been mapped down to their code, right? And those codes have been uploaded to the vibe coding tool. So vibe coding you will not have, but let's say the copy you use, the headline that you use in your vibe coding tool could be an IP infringement. Okay? So that you have to write yourself. Ki what is the title? What is the name of this game? What is the content that I'm putting inside the game? Yes, their IP content maybe. Yeah, Nisha.
I mean, much like the Grammarly and the tools that are already there, there are tools coming up for checking what is AI using as well.
And
I'm
people
sure
are
those tools
developing.
are also increasing.
People are developing. So there is a two-sided effort going on. There is people who are trying to come up with AI plagiarism checkers that can check AI. There are people who are coming up with tools that can help you deflect or bypass those checks, right? So that will always keep happening, right? For us, always remember to use AI to augment, not create. Okay? Make sure to check everything. AI hallucination, getting information wrong, creating sources, just creating sources out of thin air is something AI does on a day-to-day basis, right? But my thing is always to treat AI like an unruly but smart intern. It will do the work that you have given it, you just need to check it always.
Yeah.
Okay? You just need to be aware that hallucinations can happen. So don't ask AI to come up with a knowledge source by itself. You provide the facts and the knowledge and ask it to again augment, make it better, structure it better. And finally, this thing that you mentioned, right? The how do you bring it to a database? So whenever, let's say I had developed the tool, the game that I just developed, maybe I wanted to integrate it with AI and turn it into a reflection bot, where two things are happening. One, the bot is answering the learner's query. Second, all these responses are being stored at my end, right? Now, at my end, there is no concern of privacy because I have promised my learners and I have given them in writing that their data is safe with me and I am following the correct practices in order to preserve that data. But what about the data that is going to the LLM, right? So, there number one thing for all of us to know about is when we design our app and place the API there, API from OpenAI, Claude, any LLM, most LLMs, the data is not used for model training. Okay? So that data is just not being utilized. It exists in a black box at the company level also. So there also the data privacy issue is not there, and at our level we are obviously maintaining the correct practices and making sure that the data privacy issue is not there, right? So which brings me to the first thing, right? That you have to always keep thinking about this, but don't let it be a bottleneck. Don't let it stop you, right? A lot of this is designed with all these things keep in mind. There was a time where OpenAI was also training on API data at the very beginning. But then privacy concerns started coming up so quickly, and for the big companies, right? For the big companies, that the Fortune 500 companies, this is a real concern, which is why OpenAI had to simply stop training its models on API data. Okay? And again, these concerns will also keep becoming bigger and more pertinent. Companies will also reinforce certain things at their end. We just have to be aware and keep updated with what's going on. Right. So with that, all that said, I think the only thing I want to leave you guys, the most important, forget the framework, forget everything. If there is one takeaway for you guys from this talk is try new things, download new apps, play games, expand your imagination of what a digital interface is, and we will be future ready. Thank you very much. Any questions from you guys? Any questions, any concerns, anything you want to challenge? And guys, please let us know, because this framework, all of this is the first time we are talking about it in public, right? So it is only by your feedback and your questions can we refine this and make it even more useful for other people.
There were some terms that you mentioned which
Please.
actually flew above.
Oh ma'am, so sorry. Please tell me. Yes, yes.
About V0 versus
Oh yeah, V0. So just like ChatGPT, OpenAI and ChatGPT. Yeah, V0 is the ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Versal is the OpenAI in that case. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, how do I get myself familiarized with all this in terms of? There was also another thing you mentioned, super based.
Yeah.
So again, all of these are very new to me because I'm also not from the computer background.
Yeah.
Computer science background.
Yeah.
So how do I get myself familiarized? Just by googling, or is there any other
Start
websites?
talking. Open a ChatGPT. Start talking to GPT.
Okay.
Or start talking. In fact, go to V0. Ask V0 that explain it's v0.dev, right? Ask v0 to explain your capabilities and explain what all I can do with you as a tool. And it will give you the complete breakdown. It will tell you what Supabase is, how it can be integrated. So Supabase is just a fancy, think of Excel as a database. Supabase is an Excel connected to apps. It pulls data from apps and stores it, and it sends data back to the apps. So it is a live version. If Excel is static, then Supabase is a live version that connects with apps. Right. So just for that specific thing. But yeah, go to V0 and the more, and see as your need arises. The second, like she mentioned that I want to capture, one is you can create a reflection bot which your learner is talking to, LLM is responding, and you are not at all aware of what's going on. Right, that's step one. Step two, you are like, I want to know what they're talking about. So now the need arises to capture response data, right? To capture response data, and with that need, you will prompt that into the AI that now I want to start capturing this. How can I go on about it? And it will tell you. Yeah. So and spend. I know there is a lot of social media that all of you guys must be a part of, and adding another one on top of that is obviously maybe like a big challenge. But X or Twitter is where all the big real conversations of AI is happening. Uske aage jana to there is also Reddit where the real AI conversation happens, but maybe Reddit is too far-fetched for this group here. So X is what I would recommend. That on the daily, there are vibe coding tournaments on X that people just start a tournament, $10,000 to the first winner. And people just vibe coded their tools and send their links, and one person won $10,000. And there is so much regarding AI, coding, text to, and all the AI. So text to text, image, video, vibe coding is happening on Twitter. So if one social media you want to capitalize on for AI, Twitter is the one. I am on Instagram, I am on LinkedIn, not on Facebook anymore. But I know for a fact that LinkedIn and Instagram don't even scratch the surface when it comes to AI that Twitter does. So if you aren't on Twitter and the FOMO is there, Twitter is the place to be to learn about AI. Any other questions, guys? Please, yes. What's up?
Not as much as a question, but more than like an observation of what you said. Like basic question was came in like what do we learn? Like how can we learn more about ChatGPT and other AI models? So based on what you said, like I just talked to them. Based on what you said, I just started talking to ChatGPT. I asked, what are you? I just asked ChatGPT, what are you? It just mentioned that I am an AI developed by OpenAI, and like I am a large language model advanced. So then I started further asking that, what is a large language model? He gave me 4 or 5 options, and we started off. That definitely seems like a good suggestion.
Yeah, you can also ask it to explain it. The best thing always is ask AI to explain it to you like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
That prompt is so understated, I feel. It's utilized out there but underutilized in my opinion. That there is so much that you can learn about the most complex subjects with that prompt. Talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Actually, like the response in the sense. So
Yeah.
Thanks.
So there was a project little after the pandemic where we did management training program.
Right.
And we made it gamified. But they were very, for some programs they're very interested in having in-person. And so we implemented a game, gamified version of it. They were a partner, we delivered it.
Right.
It took us 3 months to deliver something like that. Where we had, everybody's phone they would use as a gamified.
Right. So everyone's on their phone and everything is connected.
You have to save yourself. There's a snake that will come and bite you. Whatever. And so we found another partner who published only about 8 months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't quite realize they were using vibe coding.
Right.
But then I now understand because that project we delivered in 3 weeks. Much to everybody's surprise.
Yeah.
And we've taken this element of offline a little away from it.
Right.
But a lot of it is starting to make sense after your conversation and what you spoke. Thank you for that.
Sure. No, thank you. Also, keep one very good point I think ma'am has mentioned is think about digital surfaces or online surfaces in the offline mode. Right. Now that you have this additional interface to offer, can you get 50 kids in a room or 20 learners in a room and have them access something, play a game, and then discuss about the game, right? So now even this is possible. So because generally हम लोग online we're thinking about it in a very isolated fashion. No, it can also become a multiplayer experience.
Can you tell us something more about your company and the products that you're bringing to the market? Like, I wanted to know what exactly you do.
Sure. So yeah, we tie up with companies, we tie up with the government to help them design e-learning solutions, right? So we offer services, we help them design a course, we help them design simulations, we help them design games as per their requirement. So we have our own LMS, right? If you want to pull up the website, Rahul.
Oh.
Yeah. We have our own LMS, and we just keep experimenting with AI. So the AI onboarding avatar that I had shared on the group is just one of those experiments. We are trying bunch of other stuff, trying to put together. So now there are HeyGen, right, which is essentially the base service that we use to create that onboarding tool, is offering click-based journeys within a simulation. That the AI will ask me, I will get 3 options in front of me, and depending on what I click, it will take me to the next step. All of it auto-generated. Pehle we could create this using SCORM very easily. That there is a video playing, you give it 3 options. Option 1 goes to slide 1, 2 to slide 2, 3 to slide 3. But now all of this is happening real time. But this is being done by HeyGen. So if you guys don't know about HeyGen, please look it up. Follow it on Twitter and everything. But just because now I'm aware of, so we keep experimenting, and it is in the experimentation that we find out new things, and we just try to deploy them, and see where it's taking us. This is our LMS, we call it Learner 1, right? The idea is multimodal learning. Generally LMSs are over-indexed on video. So we created an LMS that you can learn using video, audio, the chat or the AI mode, as well as the basic reading mode, right? And all of this you can use in collaboration with each other. Also gives a certain choice at the learner's end to pick what mode they want to learn using. Yeah. So this is at large what we do. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. We've also created a lot of HTML5 simulations. So I would love to, what I'll do is I'll paste the link onto the group. You guys can try it out. Let us know your thoughts as well on that. And very important, we are right now in the process of putting out an AI in learning design course, right? Essentially, it encapsulates a lot of the skills that I've talked about today, how to work with these AI models, what are the considerations you have to keep in mind, and how you can use all of this to deploy that end product, that end learning experience to the learner. So once that course is ready and out, we'll also share it on the group, and we'd love to see you guys as part of the cohort. Any other questions? Anything else? Yes.
You mentioned about app which teaches physics and even interactive app.
Brilliant.
Can you name other few apps?
I'll share a list on the group. So we have like a list. There are a couple of I follow, couple that Rahul follows, couple that Dinesh follows. We'll put it together and we'll share it on the group with you.
We
Yeah.
would like to know more about your products and as well.
Yeah. So we'll also share those links with you guys, so you guys can try it out and give us feedback.
Any other questions? Because I think we are almost about the time. I know the session is so interesting that you are immersed and you forgot what's the time. Yeah. So thank you very much, Abhishek.
Thank you everyone for your time and patience.
Yeah.